Hello, everybody. It's Friday, February the 26th, and as you can see, somebody had a birthday. Yeah, I think you know as well as I do that it was my birthday yesterday, and these are just like the remnants of the celebration, or so I say, or the spoils, or the symbols of the celebration. Or rather, really the sort of the signs of your great love and affection. And so I thank you. Thanks for everybody who was participated in my 55th birthday. It was, as they'd say in England, it was a hoot. It was an absolute hoot. And, my parents have been following it over in Wales, and, friends in Italy have been following it, and my other friend in Wales from my very first parish where I was assigned as a priest, she said to me when she saw the pictures and everything, she said, I want to go to that parish. I wish I was in that parish. And you know the reason why she wants to come into our parish? Balloons. She saw so many balloons, and Maria is like a balloon freak. Really, she won't mind me saying that. But she saw all the balloons and thought, I want to be in that parish. There were so many balloons. But, I suppose it's as a compliment, really, that here at Church of the Holy Spirit, we know how to celebrate, don't we? At least I'm learning that from all of you. You know how to celebrate, and it's a great spirit, and it's a great compliment to all of you that you did this for me, So Jonah was involved in it, and even as I'm talking to you now, he's actually retrieved somebody's gift from a bag, so I hope, and he's pulling it to pieces, so hopefully it's nothing too delicate. But he's been a part of this celebration. So we are just starting Lent, and then suddenly we're thrust into these wonderful occasions to celebrate. But we have to celebrate these moments. It's important to celebrate these moments. And growing up, really, I kind of enjoyed birthdays, but I think as I get older, I enjoy them more. Maybe I'm learning to appreciate life a bit more. I don't know what it is. But anyway, this year, above all, I've had a most splendid birthday week, because it has been a week long of celebrations. And I am actually more than a bit exhausted if I seem tired today. And I'm hoping I'll recoup my energies ready for the masses this coming weekend. So anyway, here I am surrounded by all of the celebrations and the trappings of celebrations, and I want to come and talk to you about Lent, don't I? Or at least say a few words today about Lent. And the words I want to speak to you today about Lent have to do with that concept, that practice, that activity we know as fasting. Yes, fasting. What do we mean by fasting? Well, it's when we stop eating, basically, or we reduce our intake of food and drink. Okay, and we do that especially during Lent. And as I said to you a couple of weeks ago, there are two official days in the year when we should be fasting, and that's Ash Wednesday and Good Friday. However, it's a very common practice during Lent by many Catholics, by many Christians, to at some stage to eat less and to drink less, or to choose a day or a time when they eat nothing. Okay, and I suppose the question, surrounding all that is, well, what's that all about? What's the point of all that? What is the conceit of all that? And bottom line, I'm giving you my understanding of it, really, rather than the sort of textbook answer, but it's more or less the same, is that, by denying, I suppose, ourselves something which is so essential to us, like food, we discover within ourselves a need, a physical need and also a spiritual need. And as hunger, I'm sorry, the dog is tearing something to pieces. He's obviously wanting the attention, but he's not going to get it. So as we start to feel hunger, that sense of need, I'm hungry, I need to eat something, it orientates our spirit to look at really what it is that we need in life. What do we actually need? What's really important in life? And from there, the spiritual conclusion, or the conclusion to that question is, well, Jesus, God. our essential needs, the thing we need most of all, is God, because God actually provides all of that, He provides for our basic needs. So the notion of fasting over the centuries, is to do with penance and denying yourself. But the purpose of denying yourself is so as to orientate yourself towards God, okay? And take away the focus from me and filling myself with, cupcakes or whatever it may be. Deny myself that so that I may know my need, that I know that I'm needy. And to know at a spiritual level, I have the biggest need of all, and that is the need of God. I hope I'm being clear. But that's basically my understanding of fasting, If you've got other ideas, please let me know. But that's how I understand it. And I just want to tell you a couple of occasions when I've been involved in fasting. Let me tell you, I'm not a great faster, really. But the occasions, when I'm involved in fasting, it's a good thing. And over the years, I've come to ponder, why am I doing it? And I'm kind of grateful for the experience, because it actually enriches my prayer life, So when I was in seminary, every year, as a seminary, as the community that we lived together, we were only like 40 students, 40 seminarians, and like 5 staff or 4 staff, 4 professors. It was decided what we were going to do as a community for penance. What are we going to do as an observance of Lent, So on this one Lent, it was announced to us that between the professors and the senior staff, the senior students, we were going to... Hang on a minute. I'm just going to take this off him. Hey, Jonah. Don't do that now. No. I'm afraid he's got hold of a box of Fannie Mae. I think they're Pixies. And I'm trying to stop him from gaining access to them. But of course, he doesn't want to let them go. Anyway, I'm going to continue. And hopefully I'll finish before he actually gets to the chocolate. Okay? And I'm sorry for the disturbance. So, it was decided in our seminary one year that we were, on a Friday, we were going to eat less. So instead of having like a full meal at lunchtime, it was decided that we would just have a slice of cheese and a boiled egg. And that was it. And we were, as students, we were like growing lads, we were all in our 20s, None of us were best pleased about it, but we couldn't really complain because it was like Lent, we'd spend all morning out at lectures in the university. Then we'd come rushing back ready for lunch. And so we would sit down, and for our lunch during Lent, we would have a slice of cheese and a boiled egg. And during the time of the meal, somebody would be reading constantly from Scripture throughout. So that was our penitential act. And that's what we told that we were doing it, So anyway, I think it was in the second week that we did it. Nobody was really happy with it, So after we'd had our slice of cheese and our boiled egg, ordinarily everybody went off to spend the afternoon as they wanted to, take a nap or whatever. But a friend of mine, leaving the refectory, said to me, "Are you hungry?" I said, I'm starving. He said, "Well, come with me then." So I went with him, and we exited the seminary onto the street, and we walked to the end of the street where there was a Chinese restaurant, right? And we walked in, and we had a full Chinese meal. We had a full Chinese meal. But the best bit about it was that we walked into the Chinese restaurant, and the Chinese restaurant was full of the seminarians. So it wasn't just the 2 of us. There were 40 of all of us. Nearly all of us were there. All of us eating Chinese food because the slice of cheese and the boiled egg wasn't enough. Okay? Now, I'm not proud of telling you that, really, because it wasn't, what was intended by the practice of us fasting, by not eating, But I'm showing you that, really, partly to sort of say that, when we do fasting, you need to do it voluntarily. That's the one thing, really. And it needs to be something which is motivated by the heart, the reason for it, which is to sort of bring you towards God, to orientate your heart towards God. If, if it doesn't do that, or if your motive for doing that is not that, if your motive for fasting is not to orientate your heart towards God, then don't do it. Then don't do it. For example, so if your motive for fasting, for not eating lunch, maybe say on Wednesdays in Lent, is not to bring yourself to God, but to lose weight, well, ditch it, because that's not fasting, is it? That's just a diet, But, you see, if you choose voluntarily, you feel that I want to give up that meal in order to make me realize my need of God, my need of God's forgiveness, my need of God's mercy and love and compassion, then do it. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so I think fasting is a great thing. It's a good thing, and of course, it's eons old. It's one of the ancient practices in the church, and to orientate your soul towards God, withhold sustenance. But do it for yourself, not because somebody tells you to do it. All right, do it for yourself. And of course, when you do it for yourself, really what you're doing it is to actually point you towards your need of God. Okay, so that's that one piece of fasting there. As I say, I'm not proud of it, but it makes the point, doesn't it, really? Then the other thing I was going to say, just another little vignette. He's getting to the chocolate, so I have to finish soon. The other little vignette is that I was on a retreat once as a seminarian, and we were there waiting to celebrate Mass. It was like maybe 40 minutes before Mass, and we'd had the talks for the day, and I was there with the other students, and we were getting ready for the Mass. And so I guess I must have been hungry. I must have been hungry. So I found a bag of potato chips, and I was eating the potato chips, and I'm just eating them away. Then all of a sudden, the professor who was with us, spotted me, and he came over to me, and he said, Jeremy. I said, yes. And he said, so what are you doing? And I said, waiting for Mass. He said, no, what are you doing now? So I'm eating some potato chips. And he said, no, not before Mass. And I thought, panic. It was like, I'd forgotten, you see. That, you see. The other kind of fast that we do is what is called the Eucharistic fast. And that generally, most Catholics, before they receive Eucharist, before they go to communion at Mass, they don't eat for an hour before. Now, in years gone by, pre-Vatican II, it was from midnight that people wouldn't eat, and you'd have like kids fainting, during Mass while they're waiting for the communion. But since Vatican II, it was shortened to just 1 hour before Mass. We shouldn't eat. We should withhold. We should fast. It's called the Eucharistic fast. But on that occasion, I was embarrassed really that I knew what the rule was. I knew, but I'd forgotten it. And so the professor had brought to my attention, what I was doing was wrong, so then I panicked and I thought, well, what am I going to do now? And so I didn't eat any more chips, but I thought to myself, am I in mortal sin? Am I in, should I go and throw up the chips that I've eaten? So, and I'm saying that to you because my reaction was kind of like exaggerated, I did learn from that mistake, and I always try now not to eat an hour before the celebration of Mass. But at the time, I was panicked, thinking, what should I do now? Should I rush and go to confession? And should I go and, make myself vomit? And well, no, I didn't do that, really. And just the priest said to me, just put the chips away. And so I did. Okay, so again, you can see fasting as a rule from that point of view, but it's only really of our benefit and benefit to anybody, really, if it's something which is an action of the soul, something which you desire to do, and to do so voluntarily. So there you are. There's my take on fasting through two different vignettes today. It's a bit chaotic here because now my dog is getting close to the chocolate in the box, and I have to find a way to entice him away. Okay, so I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will be seeing you at church this coming weekend. I'll be on all of the English masses. In the meantime, pray for me, I pray for you, and be joyful. Keep the faith, and thanks for my birthday this year. Bye-bye.